Welcome to GorsskyVlogs Dungeons and Dragons. I'm your host, Skyler, and due to some technical difficulties, I'll be running through a quick narration of our characters and their start of their Pokemon journey. First, let's introduce the characters. Terran, played by Tim, is a high elf wizard. Found at the doorsteps of Agatha and Corbin in Pallet Town, he was adopted and raised under their roof and sent off to school like the rest of the kids. He became somewhat of a nerd, finding pleasure in learning the ways of magic, and was often bullied for his love of books and scholarly interests. Thankfully, he met a young goblin named Gizzle, who, although also bullied, was much more capable of getting back at the villains. Gizzle was a thief by trade, taught by many of the other goblins he lived with before moving to Pallet Town. He was often caught by the guards while attempting to steal, and had to look for new ways to enact his trade, so he offered to clean for one of the elderly couples in the town, which turned out to be Agatha and Corbin. He offered to do the work, but at outrageous prices. The couple was quite wealthy, and didn't see a problem with it, so they took him on. As Gizzle started working there, he met their young son Terran, who soon became his best friend, and he protected the lad as best as he could from the bullies at school. Although not very strong, this wasn't a problem for Gizzle once he and Terran reached high school, and a strange lizard folk teen named Jimmy Darsk strolled into town, unsure of where he was or where he was going. The town decided to let him live in the dorms, on the condition that he too went to the high school with the rest of the kids his age. He agreed and soon found himself among the band of misfits known as Terran and Gizzle, and became close friends with them. The campaign begins on graduation day as all graduating students from Pokemon High sit amidst Professor Oak's lab, listening to the droning speech of their school's headmaster. Once he finished, though, they all became quite excited as the professor himself stepped up onto the stage and began calling out the names of people to come and choose their first Pokemon. Gizzle was the first out of the three, and told his friends he had planned to steal an additional Pokemon. He chose a Charmander, but while the professor was distracted, he managed to nab a Cockatrice as well. Jimmy, or Big Jim as many of the town folks called him, was next, and simply chose an ape as his first Pokemon, and quickly sat back down. Terran, the last of the three, knowing what Gizzle had done, and feeling bothered by the sin of his friend against the kind professor, approached the stage, chose Ghastly as his Pokemon, and then leaned in and whispered to Professor Oak about Gizzle's deeds. The professor signaled the guards just as Gizzle and Jimmy were attempting to leave the ceremony early, and they stopped them before they could. Although Gizzle was able to talk his way past them, he returned later after handing his extra Pokemon off to Jimmy to prove to Oak nothing was stolen. Oak was content with this and sent him on his way. After leaving the lab, they were challenged to a Pokemon battle by another group of three trainers. The players were able to make quick work of the enemies and left happily with their first victory under their belt. But not everything would come so easy for this group. They were tasked with catching their first Pokemon by Professor Oak to prove that they were worthy of the journey, and found themselves heading into Route 1 to search for wild creatures. Terran made quick work of catching a Pikachu, but the other two seemed to be struggling. Jimmy cleverly made a trap using some cookies given to him by one of the local shop owners, which made for an excellent lure. But unfortunately, the Pokemon continually managed to break free each time from the Pokeball. Gizzle attempted to scare a bird out of a tree in order to catch it, which resulted in his Charmander starting the shrubbery on fire, and that fire began to spread. They rushed to put it out and headed back into town to use the last of their money for a final attempt to catch a Pokemon. After purchasing several Pokeballs, this time Jimmy managed to catch the same bird that had actually escaped Gizzle earlier, and Gizzle managed to defeat and capture a badger. Both the eagle and the badger evolved post-capture into giant versions of themselves. The three then returned to town, happy with their new Pokemon, and thus the beginning of their journey began. Now sit back and relax as the story continues. You come back into Pallet Town, and it's starting to get fairly dark. You notice a lot of trainers seem to be hustling and bustling about the town. A lot of them seem to be heading over towards the inn, and a lot of them seem to be heading from, it's a building towards the, I'm going to say the west side of the map. It's actually, I forgot I have this ping. It's this building right here.
All right, where are you guys headed right now?
Which building are we going to?
Can you that?
Back to the one dude and give him that one.
The poke.
He'll be at the end, right? Will Professor Oak be at the end?
He said he was going to wait for you guys, but he'll head to the inn later that night.
Okay, so we'll find him first. Well, I'll find him yet because, hold on, Quinn is still in the Pokeball. So let's find a out-of-the-way spot to get Quinn out first, where no one will...
Okay, so where are you guys headed then?
Okay, I just had a quick question. Okay, so we're heading to some out-of-the-way spot, I guess.
Okay.
So to get Quinn out of his Pokeball.
Okay. Where would you like to go?
Where do you think's a good secluded spot? Maybe back to Quinn's home, maybe back to our house.
Okay. Quinn's house over here?
Right here.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so you guys go back over to Gizzle's house. You go out kind of behind. There doesn't seem to really be anybody around. It's his yard anyway. So nobody is anywhere near that side of town. If anything, people are coming from over here at the dorm house. There's some people, they're coming down the road over to here, and then they just start heading towards the inn. But, there's no reason anybody would probably see you from back there.
Which one's Giz's house?
It's the one with the blue roof.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in a secluded location, right?
Yes.
So Jimmy, you're finally listening. We should really get Gizzle out of that Pokeball now.
Oh,
Do you guys want to do a quick perception check?
Just wanted to make. Whoops. Hold on. 4%. Whoops.
Tim. Oh, okay. Quinn, you want to make one?
yeah.
Or actually, no. Quinn, you're in a Pokeball, so it doesn't matter.
Well, no. Will this be before or after he leaves the Pokeball?
Oh, I guess it could be after.
Yeah, I think it might be after.
All right. So, you guys release Quinn from his Pokeball, and he pops out, and he takes a look around. You all are just kind of like very cautious, looking around, making sure, nobody notices you, because obviously you guys know that catching in Pokeballs is considered illegal, even if it is an accident. I mean, you guys might be able to explain it away. I mean, you've done so far. Tim talked to the trainers and told them, it wasn't on purpose by any means. So, but people are very cautious about it.
We better make sure no one's looking at us from
Catching things other than people.
What's that?
What?
Yeah. Well, catching people is the illegal thing.
I really want to start hunting people, honestly. I think that would make for a really fun campaign.
Keep them as slaves.
Yes.
All right, so I just hopped out. And I'm pissed.
Okay.
Guys, if you do that again, I'm going to report you, and I'm going to get you sit in jail forever.
Okay.
I want you to take that Pokeball and destroy it right this instant.
Okay. And Jimmy holds the Pokeball really up high.
Okay.
And says, only if you can reach it.
I go up to him, kick him in the shin, and he drops, and hopefully, and attempts for him to drop.
That's a roll-off, buddy.
Yeah, you're gonna roll the dice and then add your strength modifier. No, not you, Cameron. Quinn has to make it. He's the one kicking you.
Oh, thank goodness. Wait, he has to be my armor class?
Yes. You actually kind of hurt your toe a little bit. Not enough to cause a damage, but it's like, ow. Dong.
Nice try, Giz.
I got some valuable information if you break that ball.
So the valuable information that Gizzle actually has is when he was released from the Pokeball, Terran cast Minor Illusion to make it look like there was a person kind of hiding amidst the bushes nearby, watching everything that they were doing. Unfortunately, Jimmy was unable to make a high enough perception check to notice it, but Gizzle noticed it, and so he thinks currently that there's somebody that knows something about what they're doing, and the fact that he got captured, that's the information that he's actually talking about.
No.
Well, then I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. And then Jimmy just starts walking away down the path some more.
You heard
I'm-
me tell him, Gizzle?
Am I getting near the place to go? I'm going straight for Professor Oak's place. I want to show him my giant eagle.
Okay. So Quinn, I need you to roll a d20 for me real quick.
Hang on a second.
And then Tim, could you also roll a d20?
Yeah. Dang!
That's a natural 20. 13.
Okay, so what do we got here?
I have a nat 20.
Okay,
Roll a
okay.
nat 20.
I just had to check a stat thing, so no worries here. All right, so are you guys following Cameron's character?
No.
Okay, where are you going?
You're not following Kim? Okay, so why don't we go to see Professor Oak?
Oh, no.
That sounds like a
What?
great idea, but I'm going to...
No, to give him the... Oh,
I need to check something in my house real quick. You guys go along, and I'll be right along.
okay.
Well, I mean, I guess you could just tell me, Quinn. So, yeah, you actually go over to him, and he doesn't move.
At all?
Not at all.
Can I talk to him?
Sure.
All right, I just randomly, like... What's up?
He doesn't say anything.
I kick him in the shin.
Okay, so you kick, and it, like, your foot goes right through him.
Interesting. Is
And,
there anything
here's the other thing. As Tim walks away, it starts to dissipate,
Okay.
and it ends up vanishing. I mean, you're kind of suspicious that there might be something else there, but you're kind of confused, and you're not sure what you saw or what you're looking for necessarily.
Okay.
Do you run after him then?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Lots of secret stuff going on, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's fair enough.
All right, so you guys headed over to Professor Oak's?
Are we all heading over to Professor Oak?
Yep. All right, so you guys go over to Professor Oak's,
Oh, hi, Professor.
and he's like, "Oh, hello."
Yeah.
Before we get started, guys, I got something very important I need to tell you, but I need you to throw my Pokeball that you have me contained in first.
Oh, that you had him just contained in? What? Throw it for what?
I want you to break the Pokeball that's containing me, and I'll tell you my secret.
Well, it's not containing you now.
Yeah,
In the future,
yeah. Why do you want me to break it so bad?
because I don't want to get caught up in there again. You want to get caught up in there again? I'll turn you into the police. How about that?
Okay.
Break it.
And
We
Professor
could
Oak
just
is like, "What
unspell
is
it."
going on here?"
We could just unspell it, you know.
Hang on, Professor. 1 minute.
Professor!
It might be
Yeah.
easier just to take away the...
A giant Pidgey.
Giant
Break it.
Pidgey, that is
I
quite obscure. I've never seen. I am very interested in seeing this.
And I walk over and I open up my Pokeball to reveal the giant eagle.
Okay, and it comes out, and it seems really chill and whatnot. The way things work as far as controlling Pokemon is that if your level is equal to or higher than, you're able to control it. Sometimes there will be other special things that will change whether you control it or not. This one definitely you have like full control over. You don't have any issues. So,
Okay.
and it
And
just
I'll
kind
bring
of and waits for you to tell it to do something, basically.
Mhm.
And yeah, and Professor Oak goes, "Wow, Jimmy, that is quite impressive. I must say though that it isn't exactly a Pidgey. It is a separate species of Pokemon. It's under the Eagle. Well, I'm not going to go into the whole kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species of this, but different species. Bottom line.
And I caught a Pikachu, Professor Oak. Here,
very
let me show it to you. It's the best.
Yes, please. And you set down the ball, and Pikachu pops out, and again it's very chill, it's very obedient, and such. And he goes, "Oh yes, that is quite a fine catch that you have captured there, Terran. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. Kudos." Gizzle, do you have a Pokemon for me?
Yeah, I do, but I need to talk to these guys real quick. Are we destroying this thing or what?
We'll unspell it when we get the chance.
No, I want it broke. You want this information or not? You gonna die? Go over a freaking Pokeball?
Who knows? What do you want to do, Jimmy? We don't even know if this information is valuable.
I don't even know what this information is, and I'm really not scared of it because it showed up in the last 2 minutes.
And Professor Oak is like, what is so important about destroying that Pokeball?
I'm gonna tell him if you guys don't destroy it.
It holds my Charizard.
He's gonna
Tell
tell
me
Professor Oak. You better not tell Professor Oak. Destroy it, Jimmy. Fine.
So, Jimmy was out making a trap, right, Professor?
Just destroy it.
Okay.
Don't say nothing. I whisper that to him in his ear.
And I made a cookie trap in a Pokeball.
Nope.
And Giz saw the cookie, and he was all like, I want a cookie, and he got stuck in the Pokeball.
Oh dear!
Accidentally.
That-
He didn't do
that-
it intentionally.
Well,
Isn't that funny?
Yes, I suppose that is quite hilarious. To agree with him, Jimmy, as funny as it is, I think it might be in your best interest and everybody's best interest that you destroy the Pokeball. Otherwise, I may have to report you. It's quite illegal.
There's charges if they don't destroy it right now.
Oh, and you would definitely be in the right to do so if they don't. But as of this moment, it is an accident, and if
It's not an accident when they do it on purpose. The second.
How are you getting me involved in this, Gizzle? This was all on Jimmy. Gizzle's getting in one of his moods.
And I look back and forth between everyone, and I just look down at the Pokeball in my hand, and I go, here, Professor, and I just hand him the Pokeball.
And he goes, "Oh, okay, I will put it through the machine." And he goes over and he has this like weird big machine. It's like this machine over here, and he puts it into that machine, and it like sucks in the Pokeball and it spits it back out on the other end. And he goes, "All right, this Pokeball has been reset. It's released whatever Pokemon is attuned to it."
Absolutely, I'll take
All
that.
right.
No!
You want to add that to the character sheet?
Okay, well, let's get on with
Just go to your
things.
character sheet. You guys all make sure. Actually, I changed it, Quinn. It's all good.
Let's get on with things, Gizzle.
I want to hand him the nearly dead badger or whatever that's just hanging on to life by a thread.
Yeah, and he goes, "Okay, so as you let this out, and like." So you were expecting this regular like chill badger or whatever, but what comes out of it is this like very large, like kind of intimidating looking badger, like bear-sized badger. And he goes, "Oh, very good." He looks at you and he's like, "You seem a little surprised."
It wasn't that big when I got put in there.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm sure Jimmy was also quite surprised when he caught that eagle. You see, certain species, they grow as of being caught. They kind of mutate in a sense.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Professor, I really don't want this. Can I get rid of it?
I mean, you could always sell it. There's a lot of trainers out there that might be willing to buy it from you.
It's going to be useful.
Did you get a message, Skyler, or no?
Yeah. I'm responding.
Okay.
Is it going to be useful to keep it?
Yeah, definitely. It could grow quite large. If you'd like, I could tell you about the species, and I can tell you what it will turn into.
Sure.
All right. And he kind of like leads you over to like a little computer screen. And he shows you an even like larger sized badger with like these really intense claws. And I mean, you know, as far as the mechanics of it go, he's like, this is a level 3 Pokemon called a Lucrota. It's fairly powerful. Like I said, it's level 3. So you'd be able to use it in 3rd level, you know, battles and tournaments specifically. It will go head to head with any other third level Pokemon. So it's a normal type, which means it doesn't have a lot of types that it gets an advantage or a disadvantage from. So it's got kind of that neutral standing, which is nice.
All right, I'll keep it.
All right, fantastic. And he says, now, as a thank you, I'm going to, as a thank you and as promised, I'm going to give you each one of these. And he pulls out their healing potions. And he gives each one of you a minor healing potion. So you can add that into your inventories.
Can I roll a perception?
Okay.
If you've got any others just laying around?
Any other way?
Potion?
Yeah, I mean, you look around the thing, and it looks like the place where he pulled them out of, it was like they were like the last 2 in the crate.
Can I just roll perception and see if I see anything in there that's worth like stealing?
Sure. Okay, so most of what's in there is like machinery that's like nailed to the ground, and it's large, you know, nothing like small enough that you could like nab or something like that.
Okay. All right, guys, I got a great secret I got to tell you. Let's head out.
Yeah.
Go back outside then. Thanks, Professor.
Of course. Actually, boys, one last thing. If you're up to it, I know tonight, well, I guess a couple of things. Tonight is the big celebration in town. Go on down to the inn. You can have yourself a time. Also, make sure to swing by the Pokemon Center. They'll heal up your Pokemon tonight only for free to any graduates, recent graduates. So definitely take it over there. Additionally, I had one more quest if you're willing to take it.
What is it?
I just have a small package that I need taken to a friend of mine, and I'm sure he lives over just north of...
Sorry, Professor, go on.
Oh, okay. He lives just north of Cerulean City. Just north of Cerulean City. And his name is Bill. He's sort of a Pokemon... how would I describe it? He's not necessarily a scientist in the fact that he has a degree, but he is definitely trained within arcana and the magic arts, and is very capable in learning abilities and such of Pokemon. And
how
I have
interesting.
Yeah, yes. Of course, Taryn, you would definitely find him interesting, and I'm sure you would definitely enjoy meeting him. He's quite the interesting fellow. But I have a package for him of some research that I've...
How big is the package?
It's about okay, so it's about like the size of maybe...
Would you say it's a small, medium, or large package?
I mean, what's considered small, medium, and large?
Yeah, it's the size of what? Go ahead.
Like 2 books stacked on top of each other.
So is it small?
No.
So just say it's small.
It's small, yeah.
No, I'm talking to Professor right now. So it's a small package.
Oh, yes, it's a fairly small package.
Is it your package?
It's mine for Bill.
Does I just Gizlo is wondering if Bill is expecting it or if he knows it's coming.
Oh yes, definitely.
No, I wasn't.
So yeah, he's definitely expecting it.
What's Tim's character's name?
Taryn.
Aaron, you ruined everything. Let's go.
I ruined it. But let's take this package.
Be willing to reward you again.
How much?
I can give each of you, I can give each of you a Pokeball, another one of these potions, and 10 gold pieces to split between the three of you.
Well, hello, Mr. Professor. My name's Gizzle. How can I help you?
That sounds like a fair deal.
By delivering this package.
The small package that is yours.
Yes, it is mine currently, and it is soon to belong to Bill.
All right, let's go. Let's take it. Let's go.
All right.
What's in the package?
Just some research notes. It is important. It's just I trust you all, and I saw you guys battle those other trainers out there, and you were very, very capable. So that's why I'm giving them to you specifically as a group. So I know you will be able to protect it from anyone that might try to do it harm.
Okay. Yes, that sounds great.
Fantastic.
Professor?
And he holds out the package.
The small bag.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay.
I say, I'll take it.
Taryn takes it.
I don't trust Gizzle, Jimmy. I'm whispering to
I
Jimmy.
can hear you. You don't have to even just say it.
I know you can hear me, but your character can't. Your character can't hear me.
Yes, I can.
Well, I mean, Tim, you can roll like a stealth check to try to be quiet about it, and then Quinn, you can roll a perception check to see if you can hear it.
Why not?
Oh, jeez.
Okay, yeah, Quinn, you don't hear anything.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's go, guys.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's get some drinks at the inn, and then we'll be on our way.
Get it done with and skip the dance thing.
Well, how far? No, we might find something.
It is pretty far away.
It's a long. Cerulean City is a long way. Let's talk to some people.
I look at the professor before you two can walk out, right? I stick back with the professor.
Okay.
Are they gone now?
Yeah.
Hey, professor.
Yes, Jimmy.
Do you have any idea where I can acquire some shoelaces?
What?
I'm sure Granny's general store has some shoelaces. You know Granny, right, Jimmy?
Yes, I love Granny.
Yeah, she's quite a sweet woman.
Another question.
Yes, of course.
Do you know where I can find...
I've not had much experience with lizard folk. I haven't met very many other aside from you, to be honest.
One final question.
Of course.
For me to do this mission for you, can I put all my drinks for tonight on your tab?
And he said, well, I think they're offering at least one drink for free for the recent graduates.
I think this, and Jimmy gestures to the giant hulking figure he is only going to have one drink.
And he says, fair point. But I feel like you have your own money, Jimmy.
Okay.
Okay.
Just saying, you're only going to have one form of muscle on this trip.
Well, I'm not coming with you.
No, I'm the muscle.
I knock on the door.
To the
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go now.
to the lab?
yeah.
Okay.
Later.
Be like, guys, I changed my mind. I want to go get just absolutely wasted.
Jimmy. He walks out, looks down at Giz and goes, will you pay for my drinks?
Maybe we'll see. Let me hop on your back and let's go.
And he helps him back on his back.
Okay.